All right, here we are in this best of three match played out in the round of 17 of the HupCup, the first edition of the HupCup. And this is going to be our Blue Infernal player, NightEnD. And his opponent in the red Vanguard is Mixu. And both of these players, well known for playing other games. That was a pretty loud howl. I wonder if I have to adjust my sounds a little bit, but both of them, I recognize both of them from their StarCraft 2 days, although I believe NightEnD also was a Warcraft 3 player, another game that I have a fond memory for. And now they're both playing Stormgate, which is great. I love it. So here we have the Hexen of NightEnD already in for a scout. That was a cool little... He brought the bobs down here so they're still in range of the overcharge, so they didn't waste their overcharge running around this ramp. That's really cool. Mixu always showing me some cool things. And he's going for a command post first here. The Hexen trying to be annoying, and he sees the scout arriving and does the hokey pokey to dance his way home. So I think both players getting a pretty good efficient scout off on each of them, on their opponent rather. We did see that Mixu went with that command post first, but we also see a very early shrine here for NightEnD. He did open Vault and then moved into that shrine. Pretty standard kind of eco opening. Oh, this Imp's going for a very fast third, and the Scout was just a little late to spot it. Although, oh, the Scout knows what he's doing. Is the Imp going to go high? No. Ouch. Okay, so he did scout it out. I thought NightEnD might get an advantage here. We do see his Hexens coming. Oh, and she sends a Skull of Shedda to try and get on top of it. Trying to keep that Imp alive. Dropping an Effigy might be valuable here to give him a little white health, but didn't need it. Instead, puts down that shrine just as he wanted. Maybe a little later, although it's not clear. He didn't have an overabundance of minerals, Luminite saved up. Just as his first one finishes in his third, or I guess that's his second try. His first natural, and his second one is on the way still. And this scout is still going to be a little annoying. The brute has come to do some creeping. And it's going to be the speed camp first. And the scout's going to head back into the base. Just chilling on the ramp for the moment. I assume that was for more scouting. Seeing if there's going to be another building. Where are you going? Oh, you're just rallied down here. Thought he might be building another building. And another brute pops out just to try and chase the scout away. While the creeping was going on over at the speed camp. The nice micro there. Keep all his fiends alive and keep his brood alive. Quite well done there. And the scouts headed back home. Oh, I think that's a new... I don't remember that being on this map before, these tread marks. Cool. A lot of updates to this map, I understand, visually, as well as taking away the health camp in the pocket. So, a couple updates on this map. I haven't actually played it myself. Are the chickens gone? I think the chickens are gone. The chickens. No more chicken meta. I know a few casters who will be upset about that. Who have a little bit of a chicken fandom going on. Alright, so there is going to be a engagement here. Two of those fiends get chewed up really quickly as we're all low health, and all of these units for Mixu are really good against those light units. But they've decided to turn and run because the brutes are not light units, and they do hit heavier as of the new patch. And it looks like NightEnd's going to try and be aggressive and do a little bit of creep jacking. That howl really loud again. That might be one of the imbalanced sounds that are out there right now. Everything else seems pretty well balanced. These brutes having no problem taking out these shadow massives. One of them actually getting aggroed onto Mixu's unit, so he does get to pick that up. But most of them went to NightEnD, and now NightEnD with that double speed boost, his slow-moving brutes are... Oh, interesting. The visual from the speed camp has changed. The lightning legs are gone. They were one of my favorite visuals. Maybe the lightning legs have been reserved for some of the other skills that give you speed upgrades. We'll see. I don't know. What is it? System shock, I think, from the medtech. If I got that right. Maybe it's not the medtech. Maybe it's from the sentinel. I don't know my Vanguard units as well as I know the Infernal. And here we have a pretty good engage going on. Effigy is popped, but a Bob comes from the back to just snipe it. Wonder what that Bob's intention was. Maybe come to take the base here. Trying to retake this, but the Bob there was preventing NightEnD from doing so. There's a couple vulnerable Gaunts and the Hexen that are trying to micro their way away from the Lancers that will do some pretty harsh damage to them. In the end there, it looks like, yeah, this was not the battle for NightEnD, and a few of his trailing units get picked off. And for Mixu, this is certainly a advantage. He's kept most of his units alive. Some of them are very low. It would be great now if there was a health camp on this map, but there isn't. Some Infernal players say that that's particularly bad for them, but I can see here it also being pretty bad for Vanguard players. But now we have a Magmadon, and that's probably what NightEnD was waiting for. We see a couple promotes going down there to keep one of those Exos alive. But the Magmadon is a really good answer to those Lancers. There's not a lot in the tier 1 arsenal or even tier 1.5 of an Infernal that can really handle the Lancers, especially promoted Lancers. But the Magmadon has bonus damage versus heavy and also does the splash damage when he's trampling. And that is a super benefit. Ooh, we do see a evac getting loaded up here. I was going to say there, it's 3 Lancers and 5 Exos. And now this army of NightEnD is going to be out of position for this drop. He's, ooh, they're very nice. What do we call these turrets? Med stations. Med stations, when you put a med tech in there. It's like a little healing camp. And like I said, there's no healing camp on this map anymore. So this is a way that the Vanguard player can gain access to that healing in this area of effect healing. So it's way more effective than just having a couple med techs there spamming their heal. Ooh, and here's that drop going down. The drop looks like it's been a bit annoying. It says there's 6 workers there, but no, all the workers have been taken off. So it looks like it's killed a farm, maybe got a few workers there before we showed up. But we do see 2 Shroud Stones there. I think one of them might have been manifested. And ooh, getting 1 pot shot off, but trying to get into the main where there is no static D. And they drop down, they focus on the Fell Hogs first, because that's just what the auto-targeting is going to do. But that gave the imps enough time to get out of there. Ooh, and one of them Lancers going down, and then we do see a shields up going on the evac to keep it alive. But it goes down. And so these units are now kind of abandoned out here. I'm not sure if Mixu was planning to lose them, but he does end up having to lose the whole drop. But maybe getting part of the advantage he wanted, which was positional. He's now been able to capture the center of the map. He's taken this Luminite tower as well. He's got another evac here, full of Exos. There's 1 Exo. No! Can he get picked up in time? Oh no, he doesn't. A few of the Exos sniping some Shadow Flyers to try and stop them from getting on top of that evac and killing it like they did with the last one. But so far, NightEnd's been doing all right in defending the drop. He took a little bit of damage, but as a result, he also took out that first drop. And he's putting down his 4th base now. We also see that Mixu has a 4th base up. He's going more racks over here as well. Scrapyard up. What are these? Oh, mech bays. So he is going not just pure bio, he's going to mix it up a little bit. So far, hasn't got an... Ooh, this is interesting. He's starting to place sentry posts around the center of the map. This is a style I haven't seen yet, and this is one of the reasons why I wanted to get into Mixu's game. He plays so interesting with the Vanguard. I would love to see, I'd love to see how he keeps developing. And some of the tournament games we saw a few weeks ago, he was using these sentry posts to creep out these big camps really early on. Now he's using them as just sort of a slow push. Ooh, there is a drop going on here. Another Shadow Flyer. Ooh, a very well-timed shields up that stops Shadow Flyer. But here come a couple more. Ooh, they decided to turn around. Maybe they don't want to crash while the shield's up, and they do manage to take that out. And the whole army, it looks like, has come back. There's a Hellborn back there blasting, but they did get the, what was that, a Hellforge, I think it was, that they took out there. And now these units are pushing back up to this front, which has moved forward ever so slightly, and there's now been a helicarrier added. So, were those mech? Oh, they are mech based. What's coming out of there? Nothing. Okay, so interesting choice, but we now have a bombing run out. Nightfall Infestation gets missed. A very well-placed stasis drone on the Magmadon, but the Magmadons do try and get into the bio bit. One of them gets focus fire down. Hellborns also, many of the Hellborn get taken out. There's only a few left. There's a Manifest Shroudstone here, but that's going to be GG out of NightEnD in the first game. Alright, here we are in game number 2, and in our blue Celestial is going to be Mixu. And they're having a little conversation about that right now because Mixu has changed from Vanguard to Celestial in this game. His opponent, who's asking if that's part of the rule set, is NightEnD in the Red Infernal. He did not change his faction. Now, Mixu did win the first game, so it's curious that he's chosen to play Celestial. It might be because of the map, possibly. Maybe this map is kind of, I wouldn't say favored Celestial. I don't know necessarily the stats on the map, but it has features on the map that are good for Celestial. As we see Mixu using that right away, is he's going to send a Morph Core over here to this, we'll call it an island base, because you cannot reach it. There are no ramps here, of course. And that just makes it a little safer for him to place that. There's not going to be any fiends running by to attack this. You are going to need high ground vision to attack it, which usually means bringing a Weaver or a Skull of Shetta from your Hexen. Try and get that high ground. Now, if you do get high ground vision, it's not too hard to harass that location. It's not a big imbalance on this map. And we see that Mixu has already gone up to 3 array. That's a very standard opening for a Celestial. Meanwhile, it is two production structures here. It's a vault into a conclave, and I didn't quite see there, but yeah, it looks like the creeping here with 2 brutes, maybe? Brute and a Hexen of the first camp, and still no shrine going down. So, to me, this indicates that we might be getting a little bit of aggression coming out of NightEnD. Or at least aggressive creeping. Although early in the game like this, if you are going to invest this much into units, you probably are going to want to push across the map. And we do see a Ritual Chamber also already started. This is a very, very clean sort of rush build, I imagine. We're going to see a timing probably right around when those Plague Axes finish. So we'll keep an eye on that Ritual Chamber for now. And I think this is NightEnD trying to get an early, maybe an early win right away, or maybe just getting an early lead out of some aggression by knocking down some of these collection arrays and hopefully transitioning that into a win in game number 2. And we do see him moving across the map already. Now, is he going to stop? Oh, he's brought with him a couple imps. And he is going to stop and take the Vision Tower. Now, this can be... I mean, it does delay the push ever so slightly, although he is waiting for these Plague Axes. Remember, he's got time to wait. And what it does is also let Mixu know, hey, my units are here. And not only are my units here, but my units are, you know, I took out your camp. My whole army's here, at least. Those imps strategically retreat and manage to keep themselves alive for now. And, well, we do have Plague X's done now. And we are... Okay, so NightEnd's going to be looping around to the main ramp here. While his imps... What do we have here? Ooh, a Shroud Stone. Okay, and he's still on one base behind this. This is a very all-in play. But he does have a Greater Shrine on the way. He's just going to send a couple Fiends there. I like this. He wants it to waste... He wants Mixu to waste that Sovereign's Watch. He wants to fight with the Argents away from a Sovereign's Watch and away from any static D. Managing to get some pretty good hits on some Argents there. It looks like 1 or 2 going down. But at what cost? He did have to lose a few of his brutes there. Now, is this another Shroud? Yes, and we are going to see very likely a Shroudstone Manifest any second now. Is that Greater Shrine done? Yes, it is. But there is a strike node here up on the high ground. And once again, NightEnd wants to fight on the low ground out of range from that static D, from the strike node up there. And more brutes and gaunts going down, unfortunately, to little cost. And there's a lot of power banks up there. And watch as those Argents come, all of them getting powered up with a Manifest Shroudstone there, but it's going to be quickly focused down. I do think that this all-in from NightEnd may have not got the damage that it needs to. This last brute getting taken down. At least getting a Kree in exchange, but I don't think this small force of gaunts is really going to make this happen. Isn't going to finish this game here. The strike node's just extra annoying, but there's enough Kree and Argents here, I think, to deal with this army by itself. NightEnd's hoping the army is going to come out and attack into this tower. And sure enough, Mixu does, but I think Mixu's just confident that he's going to be able to take these out. Oh, a lot of his Argents are getting low now. He's trying to micro the low ones back, and he does manage to get them through that concave. But decides to pull them back. So many loot. And that's going to be another GG from NightEnd. Okay, here we are in game number 2, take number 2. And this is going to be Mixu playing the blue Vanguard. And his opponent in the red Infernal is going to be NightEnd. And again, we're just replaying this match because of some unclear rules. And I guess it was against the rules to do the faction swap in game number 2. And so we see Mixu playing Vanguard again here to do a rematch. And so far, nothing, I was going to say nothing out of Mixu other than the scout harass, but now we see 5 bobs. Okay, we don't need any of that discussion. There was some disagreement about what the rules. Okay, so now it's going to be a battle of chat while we have a battle of... Okay, hopefully they will focus on the game. Okay, interesting here. It was the Bob scouting. Okay, and so that's a fun little opening for the Vanguard. Use your Bobs to clear the creep camp and then build your command posts. And we are seeing a barracks followed up. And NightEnd's cleared out his health camp. Also put down a shrine of his own. I think that shrine came before the Conclave, yeah. So this was a eco-ish opening. A fairly kind of standard eco opening for an Infernal player. So a little different than what he played against the Celestial. This dog, the scout, is just out on the map trying to keep an eye on this army and make sure he knows exactly what NightEnd is going to be about at any point. Is this army planning to move across the map and be aggressive? No, then I don't have to respond to it just yet. And back home, yeah, do we have any? We do have a first Lancer out, it looks like. So we are going to see bio coming from Mixu. And NightEnd is starting to move out. Now this isn't quite as aggressive. Oh, so there is actually a Lancer over here. So that was the second Lancer we saw pop out. And this imp is trying to get into a third base quick, but there's no way this imp's going to win against these two. This is an imp killing force. Where's that other Lancer? Okay, so they killed the imp, and now what? Heading home? This scout's going to take the energy camp. That's not going to be a huge loss. Helps the Hexen out, but not much else in the game right now. This point at least. Scout Fiend. And a regrouping of our Lancers. We're up to 4 Lancers. Now remember, this was a command post first. So if we are going to see a Lancer push, it tends to be this 2-base Lancer push that usually shows up maybe with about 8 Lancers instead of 4 or 5. Because you still need to get your Biokinetics Lab and your Kinetic Redirect. And usually there's going to be, here we go, a central command also on the way. So we are probably going to see a Lancer push come out pretty quick here. We do see that the third base for NightEnd has gone down. The scout takes the vision camp, but NightEnd's units come to try and recapture it. And the first of the Lancers have showed up here. We just had our command post finish, which means, or our central command, sorry. With that tier 2, he can drop promotes and immediately drops 4 promotes. And the army of NightEnd shows up. A few of the Lancers just focus on that shrine. We see the cool shaking screen animation that was added in the last patch as that shrine goes down. But now these Lancers are trying to, they don't want to fight the brutes. They want to get on top of this Hexen. Oh, she gets away just in time. And the brutes can't follow through those woods. Wow. Really taking advantage of everything that he can in this match. Mixu is keeping those Lancers alive for the moment. Also regrouping them up at the vision camp. And that's just a lot of Lancers here. There are some brutes, but there is a Magmadon on the field now. Now these Lancers were trying to get around and get on to those Gaunts, but once again they move through the woods, getting a huge advantage, getting around those units. Now, what is NightEnd going to do? He was hesitant for a second. He's now moving those units back, but another Magmadon pops out, and these Lancers have to respect the Magmadon. And there's already a tower here, so this Lancer push is not going to do the damage it wants to. And Manifest Shroudstone also going down, and one Magmadon used to zone those units away. The other Lancers here getting trapped behind the mine. And now this is looking actually really bad for Mixu, losing all of these Lancers in this really good hold from NightEnd. Meanwhile, there are more units over here on the third, which was replaced down. Are they going to be able to get a kill on this shrine as well? I don't think so. A single Fiend shows up, but it's going to get smushed. A few more Fiends go down. They just want to kill this, and they probably will if they focus it. Ooh, a nice dodge of the Nightfall Infestation here. But they focus it down, and they rush their way out of there with their Kinetic Redirect and their Quick Draw Hustle. Waiting for the tramples to end, and then using the jump jets on the Vulcan to stun the Magmadon. That Vulcan's very low and actually does go down. I was waiting for a promote or shields up, but there must not have been. Yeah, there was not enough energy here to cast that. So, managing to get a cancel on that third. We see a third Trine now going up at the double Therium. But Mixu has also put up a scrapyard near his double Therium and is taking the moment to go back and reclaim his health camp. Oh, actually has sent a whole bunch of bobs. How many bobs is that? I wish I could see it. Some of them are repairing each other, it looks like. Or maybe that's just a weird animation. Focused the wrong way, but... Now, even though Mixu did have that, I don't really want to call it a failed Lancer push, but it certainly didn't get as much damage as he wanted. He's taken a little bit of the economic lead by being able to deny that third base a couple times in a row. Picking off a few of these fiends that were out on the map trying to scout. Again, more fiends here arriving at this third base. But the Bobs just turn and fight. They say, hey, we're Bobs. We're invincible. This scrapyard trying to get focused down, but it's gonna. These fiends will be cleaned up. Cleaned up by the Bobs, it looks like. Yet again. And yeah, this is now a forward base for Mixu, which can also become a defensive position for him, while also maybe putting some aggression. We might see a little bit of an engage here. Those units still have the debuff. What's that from? Slimes, yeah, from clearing the health camp. Dodges the Nightfall infestation again while trying to steal these creeps. Using jump jets to clear out some of those trees. And once again here, trying to deny this third. A Manifest Shroud Zone goes down, but the first Shroud Zone is just cleaned up. The army's going to show up. There are Weavers here now. Those Weavers, of course, going to be dangerous against those Vulcans. But we see those units just chilling at the back while the Exos are microwing forward and trying to use their quick draw hustle to just kite these units and get as many kills as they can. There is a single Lancer out there, very brave, taking some of the damage. Oh, and now the Vulcans. So we get a lash on one of those Vulcans, but the Vulcans have enough range to actually hit that prime from the high ground. I did not know that. Here they are, another lash going down on the Vulcan. 4 Magmadons, all using their trample to stomp forward. That is 2 of them going to get cleaned up. And then there's a shield up on this other Vulcan, making it very hard to take out. Eventually does get taken down. But these Exos are really doing the damage. Another, a huge jump jet forward, getting a stun and a kill on one of those Magmadons. And now it's the Exos are going to clean up everything. This match is over. GG from NightEnD.